Hello, storytellers, storytelling around here. What am I doing here? I'm going to make some creatures. And this is going to be for Dark Ages, 6th, 7th century Italy, or any other medieval setting you want as Christians, or this is going to be for the APOC, or for the sci-fi. Remember, the sci-fi settings, 2500 AD, planets are being terraformed by crazy AI mad scientists, and they're creating mutations. And so we have our, as Christians in a biblically adhered setting, we have our Bible, we have our Christianity, and we have aliens. Because the mad scientists and AI terraforming programs and machines going out and terraforming these planets are creating all these genetically modified DNA from Earth, life. So life comes from the Creator. And the atheists have done what we see even today in science. They're making abominations and mutations. And that's what they're doing as they're planning all these planets. The APOC setting has a similar, just radiation and mutations, radioactive mutations or whatever. And then in Dark Ages, we can use it as sort of primeval, prehistoric type stuff. It's still creation science adherent, but it has that fossil record look of giantism and other things that we've just never recorded. So it's very easy to do crazy stuff. I mean, there's even a fossil out there that has a dragon head that looks with all the spikes and everything. So you can certainly do crazy, scary dragons in this setting. You could do, Cro-Magnon humans that have some sort of growth deformities or bone deformities or whatever, and they're cannibals and scary. So you can do all these type of creatures that you want in this game with adventure, saving the village, rescuing the village, but also converting the village and seeing what do they support the evil in the village or the setting. So this here, check out this planet I put together. This is a marsh planet somewhere in the galaxy, and they're gonna, maybe they'll come here, and then this is going to be sort of a village of a settlement of I don't know, hunters, traders. You got to think of an economy on this planet, or they're just trying to survive, and what is it that they're doing here, and what's their survival? And, you got to come up with something yourself. And then I've got, and this, by the way, this image I just took off of Google Maps. I turned off all the settings and looked for something, and just took a screenshot of it and used it now as a marsh setting for this. I mean, you can use whatever you want. And down here, I did this hidden village of mutated, I don't know what, cannibals or primitives or pagans. Now, none of them are Christian, right? As the Christian missionaries, you come to this planet trying to discern what's going on, and this is they're your first encounter. And in my rule book, you can roll out their potential conversion level, from 1 to being quite evil and vicious to 8 being potentially ready for some form of hope. Could this be part of a pirate gang, or could it be part of the remnants who are fighting the empire and have lost all hope and don't have hope, and it's up to the Christians to bring it? Could they have some quirk? Could they have some weird thing going on? That's another question. And again, these are things you could roll out in my game, or in the campaign book. Sorry, I got a text here. Okay, sorry. Family text. Right in the middle of the video, whatever. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm going to create some creatures, and I just drew out some nifty creatures. Let me actually, what I like to do in Foundry, and this is, I'm going to provide these for you, but just showing you how I kind of work and diddle daddle with this and have fun with it. And all these tokens are available on my website as, $6 downloads or something like that. I don't know. Remember, what do I do? I don't know how to run a business. I'm just trying, sort of half-heartedly, but it's there. Okay, so I have, where did I put them in here? Beasts? No. I mean, I'm going to do these. I could do some of these, but I did something. Where did I put them? I mean, I could pick any of these. Oh, they might be in tokens 3. Yep, there they are. So these are my rat mutant beasts. Okay, what are these called? Let me look here. Muto rats. Okay, I'm using the tile thing to look at them. It's just easier because when you create an actor, you have to choose your name. Muto rats. I like to put it in beasts, but it never seems to go in there, even though I say put it in mutants or beasts. Which one? What do I have it on here? Mutant beasts. I have mutant beasts. Okay, I'm just going to put it under mutants because they're kind of humanoid. but they're not humans. They're definitely bestial. Okay, Muto rats, and then let me select there. See, and then what's cool is it automatically picks the one that you already have there. But then under tokens, since there's a mix of them, I do randomize wildcard images, and then you got to go here and manually remember to put in a little asterisk here, which is kind of, I wish they would just figure out how to do that. Okay, so I think that's gonna work. Close. Let me test it out just to see if it works the way I hope it works. Ooh, well, it's teeny. Oh, nope, not working. Okay, see how they all you probably can't see it on. I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna turn off the fog just because of it's just kind of harder to see. Ambience, weather, whoa. Oh, I'm in this one. I'm in the wrong one. Let me turn off the fog. Just feels a little bit hard to see in there. Okay. All right, so these mutant rats are all popping up the same. I don't know why. Well, I gotta figure this out. Oh, I didn't update it. Oh my gosh. In most of these, you do things and then you just close it, and it kind of updates, and I don't really think about it. But in some, you gotta remember to update token or update light. Okay. All right, now it's gonna work. Let me delete these guys, and yep. Okay, so you can see they come out random now. The different Muto rats. And obviously this swamp is the perfect place for these Muto rats. I'm already thinking they live in that village. Obviously these people are threatened by these Muto rats. And I wouldn't be, they're gonna have other beasts living with them as well. I'm just coming up with this. I didn't roll it, in my campaign books, by the way, I do try to give you guys charts and tables to roll out and give you direction on creating a story or plot line, but I'm a 45-year veteran GM, so I can just come up with stuff on the spot, and it's very easy for me. It's not overwhelming for me, and that's the one thing I want to let you know. If you're a new GM, don't let it be too overwhelming either. Do something simple. Just do what you want to do, and try that first, but keep it simple. Keep the story simple. Keep the plot simple. The little strings you tie to each thing. Keep it very simple and somewhat linear in the beginning. Start easy. Don't go crazy. Keep it simple. And then the player, because even as a experienced GM, I like to keep it simple because the players are going to come up with all kinds of stuff that and I want to leave room for that. Okay, so I don't have these guys in my mind being creators of tools or anything. I still have them being rats, just giant. And I do believe they can act like raccoons and rats today, where they can open up, they can figure out traps and doors and stuff like that. They can open them, but I don't see them making tents and creating a fire or anything like that. So I could say that this is a ruined place and that they've overrun it, and then they, I don't know. I haven't decided that part, but I got to make the muto rats, their stats. Okay, so let's do that. That's kind of the main part of this video. You start off with their stats. So I'm going to say their prowess, which is like strength, is a 2. I'm going to make these kind of low level, prowess, aware, 2, sav, 1, at least 1. I want them to actually have some real savviness. Now, sometimes I will give them savviness, but it's based on the creature, not on human equivalency. I'm giving them sav 1 with kind of, in my mind, kind of a human equivalency, but they can't make things. Sav 1 would mean they could repair and blah, 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 and understand technology. But Sav 1 is their +1 just to break through things or figure out locks and figure out how to get into places, like a rat or raccoon would. So that's kind of the way I use these traits. I use it based on them, but then based on humans as well, kind of comparison. So like I could give a real monkey a Sav 1, but that has nothing to do with the Sav 1 of a human. You get what I'm saying? Keep it simple, keep it common sense, use common sense in all this. Break the rules if you have to. In my rules, keep it simple. If things are a little complicated, or the rules that I have are a little too complicated for you, which they really aren't, but if they do feel that way to you, which is fine, simplify it. Keep it simple. Okay. What are the next three traits? It's spirit, I'm gonna say they're a bit cowardly. Spirit -2. Intellect and social I don't really care about. I'm not gonna use it for anything. Okay. Defense is 14 then. They got 12 plus 2 for awareness, and that's it. They have a hide. Let me see. Just hide. Which is their... I basically am just describing what their sort of armor is. Save is a D4. I mean, that's a little tough. I'm going to say D2. Vigor is going to be... I'm going to say they're pretty tough. 14. 14 is a 12 and above is sort of warrior, you know, athletic, training, pain endurance. Below that, you know, humans are generally like 6 to 9 or 10, you know, regular civvy humans. Okay. And then what is their attack? What is their thing? Claws or bite? I'm going to say bite. Well, I'm going to say bite and claws. Same to me, you know, just the same thing. +2 for their prowess, obviously. And they're low level, so I'm going to keep it like that. And then I'm going to say D4 damage. Now, sorry, I'm scratching my nose. That's kind of it, right? I want to give them a few things. I'm going to give them things that are give them a little extra, maybe a charge. I don't think it's going to be a charge, though. What else is going to give them that's a little extra? Because D4 damage is, you know, not going to... I kind of don't see these guys automatically killing a human being. And I'm thinking of like an NPC minion type of human being, not necessarily a character. And I'm in designing this creature, that's the way I'm looking at it. How would they, if they attacked, well, not me, but just a regular civilian in modern day life, how long would it take to kill them, let's just say? And I guess I'm sounding pretty morbid there, but I'm just I'm using that as my baseline for with these cards. So this is the hit points, basically, the vigor, and then this is the defense, which is same number. And I don't need the 5 there, but the 14. So these right here, the reason I'm doing that is, at least in this interface here, you'll see this token here of the creature, and you can see the numbers there. And I can use this number on the bottom, -4, and of course this guy took 4 hit points of damage or whatever. Okay, delete that. All right, so that's the basics, but I want to give them something else. Is it okay with a rat clan of 4 or more, +1 die rank to hit and damage? Ooh, see, so if there's 4 or more, they're going to have that 1 die rank to hit to damage, and plus and denouement, which is a really important one. So the regular denouement for these guys would be a D4, and basically 1 through 4 is pretty much retreat. If something goes bad for them, they're going to flee. But if there's 4 more of them, then they get the +1 die rank. So it'll be not a D4, but a D6. So 5 and 6 is like fighting to the death with possible denouement rolls. Again, later. So, and also that's going to make their damage a D6 and their bites and claws a +1 die rank. So they're more vicious as a group. Okay, I mean, that's kind of it right there. Maybe disease. Okay, disease. All right. I'm going to do they're very diseasey. So, disease 4. What does that mean? If the creature manages to do 4 points of damage on you, then you're going to have a disease. And I'm going to say the disease resist is... so the resist will be a prowess or spirit 12. Or at -1 die rank until full rest. Okay, that's simple. Keep it simple. So they're going to be irritated, you know, it's an infection until, you know, until full rest. And well, no, I don't even have to do either of those things. -1 die. So they can cure that with their cleaning and their first aid kits and using a medical supply. So just that when they get a chance to do that, they can just do that. If they have it on them. They might have to go back to the ship, which would, you know, be a hassle, but that's it. Hey, that's what diseases are all about. So if one of these creatures does 4 points of damage to you, you got to resist, or you'll get 1 die rank penalty to your you know, it's the bite or whatever is infected. So you got to get that cleaned up. That's it. I just created this creature. I should probably make some notes on it, actually. I'm going to for the sake of you and me and everyone else. Okay. Dark Ages. Primordial beasts. Witches can train as demonic entities. So they can use them, can follow commands like animals. See? So that's the Dark Ages. So you can use this as a Dark Age demons. And I would add a fear factor, because if people see this, fear 14 seem like demons. Now, Christians have a really good save against that, whereas regular non-Christians would probably fear it and not even get to save. That's how I'd roleplay that out. And if Christians failed, they would just be at penalty until they started overcoming and beating them, like a 1 or 2 die rank penalty. So remember, when there's penalties in this game, I keep it simple. I, as the GM, use them on my end, and the players don't use the penalties that they get. If they're diseased or have fear or have all both together, and the character's at -3 die ranks, they don't touch that. I do. I take that. It's a D8. I roll it and add it to the defense of the Mutarat. That's how I use their penalties. If they're diseased and in fear of this Mutarat, then I roll a D8 and add it to the defense of the creature. So that's how much of a harder time that they're having to. So a 2, so 14 and 2 is 16. So they need a 16 to hit it because they're just in fear of this demonic creature. And at some point they can say, so since we killed 2 of them, am I in fear of it anymore? And I'll be like, oh, no, absolutely, you're right. Nope, take that off. So you only got 1 die rank for the disease. So I do that kind of thing as well. All right, so that's it. I'm done. Mutarats. And I'm going to say, yeah, the Mutarats have overrun this place. Or, that's a story I could do. This could have been a forward base, like a hunter's camp for them, and then the Mutarats overran it, and I would say they have another beast with them, some sort of leader beast or creature or giant Mutarat, right? I could make a giant version of it, or a mother Mutarat, and it runs this place, and they can find supply treasure there. All right, let's just move on to another creature, just to show you guys how much. Okay, this one's, what are the opportunities here as a Christian role-playing game, creating a Christian cool setting and having creatures and stuff like that. So I'm going to share actually what I just did there with the Mutarats onto my Discord, because I'm going to, or maybe even on X, I'm going to start sharing the creature stats of things that you can do. So I think that's important. I get to that my game, it does translate to OSRs in D&D, but my game does have a very difficult wall, and that wall is the evangelism, church planning, Christian RPG thing. It's a big wall to overcome. It's a big wall and a big psyche to overcome for Christians, because they don't think that they can have their faith in a game and then have the same intense fun as they do with pagan OSRs, and they're all pagan. You worship as a pagan, you play as a pagan, you act as a pagan, you fellowship as a pagan. You're not allowed to bring up Jesus Christ in the game, at the table, at the convention, wherever. And we willingly give that up, and it's bumming and ticking me off both at the same time. Okay. All right, I did Aqua, but I don't want to do I do have some races in here, but I don't want to do. I still haven't done the Octoids. I still have not done these Octoids here. As a secret alien race or something. At some point I'm going to. The Sharkmen I think I've done. Anyway, let me move on to something. Okay, I've already done these guys. They're in my setting. I know I've got some new dudes in here somewhere. Well, let me do an NPC kind of character, just to show you how that works. I'll do this creepy robot here. I do need some more piratey, dangerous fellers. So let me go ahead and do one. I was thinking today to do more beasts, but let me do. Let me get their names here just to kind of match their space thug, armored thug. Okay, that works for me. Space thug, armor thug. That could be his name, which would be kind of funny. All right, and conveniently, there it is. And I don't need it. change any of the other things because they're already changed. Alrighty, let me create this dude. I don't need to look on the stats or anything. As a GM, I don't need to go to any pages because well, it's very simple. The rules here. I start with the traits. So pro. I'm gonna say his pro is pretty low because he's not really into fighting. But his shooting is fabulous. He's probably a pilot or something. Okay, aware 5, savvy 3, spirit -1. He's not that courageous. Intellect 0, and social. I feel like he's an antisocial -2. It could be. I mean, I could obviously change any of these. His defense, is 17. Well, he's got a helmet. See that helmet? So I'm gonna say 19. Why do I make helmets like a shield? Well, I'm because you see those helmets back there. I treat them like shields when I fight, and I just feel like they are. They get in the way. They're very strong. I get that they're like for shooting, but they kind of increase the size so you can miss and hit the twang and glance and stuff. But they do act like shields. I notice when I'm in combat, so I treat him that way in the game too. Okay, defense 19, so he's got a helmet. So sorry, I'm just going off here. Okay, what kind of armor is this? Metal armor or alloy armor? Alloys. There we go. Alloys. Okay. Save is going to be a D12. That's just like plate mail. But he's also got a D10. So what does that mean? D12, D10. Not D12 plus D10. That would be power armor. D12, D10. So in this game, you can go beyond D12, right? You can go start over with the D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. Start over D2. And he has really good armor. So he rolls a D12, D10 and picks the highest for reducing the damage of something. Okay, so D12, D10. And his vigor is going to be 18. I'm going to say he's pretty tough in that sense. And his toughness is like not prowess toughness, but awareness and pacing himself and not hyperventilating. That's the sort of kind of like his training, because hyperventilating is damage. If you hyperventilate in combat or choke yourself out just by holding your breath or not keeping an even breathing pattern, you're dead. Okay. All right. So his best thing obviously is his I'm looking at his gun there. Snub-nosed plasminator. I'm making this up. Plasminator. Snub-nosed plasminator. What the heck is that? He's got +5. I'm gonna give him +3 die ranks. Oops, not 2, 3 die ranks. So that's a D8. He gets a plus. D4. 1 die rank is a D4. 2 die ranks is a D6. 3 is a D8. 4 D8 10 and 5 D12. All right, and it can go beyond that too into dice pools, but he's 3 die ranks. Snub-nosed plasminator. What is a plasminator? Well, it does D12. I'm going to do the D12, D10 damage, just like his armor. Just kind of neat. And it has a blast D4. So what does that mean? Blast D4, half damage. Okay, so if he hits a target, anything nearby, and I kind of have to decide it's pretty close, D4. If it was like a D6, a D8, I would expand out that. So basically, I roll a D4 and see how many others might take damage, and they would take half damage, and then they get an armor save because of the splash of the plasminator blast. Boom! Just blow, And the D12, no AP, no armor piercing because it's a splash type damage. So there's that, and I'm going to say suppression too. Suppression 12. What does that mean? You got to resist at 12 using whatever trait you want. Intellect, prowess, I don't care. Sav. It's just your best trait, knowing that you're being, whoa, damage, and you gotta duck. And if you fail, you duck, you flee, you panic for that moment, and don't react the way you want. So suppression 12 is just me saying if they take some damage. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Let me do if they take a certain amount of damage. No, I'm gonna say everyone in that area, all in blast. If they take anything, they gotta resist. Actually, the number 12 is not. I usually use that for if you take so much damage, but I'll remember this. suppression trait. So that means any trait. Suppression trait, all in the blast. Has to do it. So this is a crazy, and it's only a one shot, no auto or anything. That's it. Snub-nosed Plasminator, very unique weapon. What else? What else does he have? He's got to have something else cool. He's got 3. Oh, I know 3 wrist, a forearm, forearm injector. 4 slots, 3 DR medi, 1 DR focus. Is that good? 1 DR focus. So what that means is he gets 1 die rank to focus on a shot because it, injects him with a focusing drug. So these are. Now the 3 die ranks means he has 3 die ranks worth of healing. So that'll inject him with that. I'll just do 4. Well, I'm trying to be a little creative here with the 3 die ranks and the 1 die rank. I could do all 4 die ranks medical. So whenever he gets hurt, it can, it'll inject him with 1 die rank or 2 die ranks or 3 die ranks of healing, their vigor. So, or 1 die rank focus. So I'm trying to think. Okay, fine, that's fine. So the medical, 1 medical supply for the medical. Okay, medical supply, right? Just that. And then the focus is 1 tech spice. So, 2 hit. Or any aware roll. And mainly it's like for shooting, but oh, I'm not gonna worry about like drug addiction or anything like that. Let's keep it that simple. All right, so there's that. So this guy can inject himself with some healing, he can inject himself with the focus, and it'll just immediately work for his whatever he wants. I don't have any story behind this guy, so I'm not really thinking of putting anything there. I just have these here. These are ready. He could be a hired thug. He could be a hired bodyguard for the bad guys. I could come up with more stuff for this guy. I don't know if I have a scanner. I could come up with a couple other things. I don't know. But let's stick with that. That's fine. I could drop this in as a baddie at some point. Let me put. He's got 18 vigor. 18. Obviously, this won't go to Dark Ages, but it could go into the post-APOC one. But I'd have to probably bring down the technology a little bit. But in the post-apocalyptic setting, which is 2200 AD, the technology that if you find it in ancient places is equivalent to the sci-fi, because you can find spaceships and robots and tech spice type stuff, but it's super rare. But it is in there because remember the storyline is that the atheists go out to the planets with sci-fi and then they bomb the Earth, but they have a lot of the technology already there. So when they go into space, the technology doesn't necessarily advance. It does, but in crazy ways. But it can still be on Earth, especially the robots and the spaceships and stuff like that. But anyway, Space Thug, Armor Thug. There we go. Alrighty, where is he in here? Okay, let me put him under Galaxian Encounters in my thing here. I think that's fine. What's his Gonzo bot? Oh, well, I don't have anything for Gonzo bot. That's interesting. I better put something for him. Okay, let me do that guy. Let me put the mutant rats under mutants. Okay, I don't have anything for Gonzo bot. Interesting. And I got a bunch of robots here. Nothing here for Gonzo bot. All right, let me do Gonzo bot. I got to remember a little bit about the stats, so let me go ahead and look up. Yeah, same stats as anybody else. Oh, I have a salvage roll on some of these though. Botborg. Oh, I don't even think for Botborg. Okay, let me do Gonzo bot here. And I'm just looking at this image over here. It's kind of small. I don't know if I can I show? I thought I could show image. Let's see here. I know there's a way to show art or something. View character artwork. Okay, there's Gonzo bot. He's got a hover jet thing going on here. This is like toxic smoke. Oh, kind of like a smoky, oily thing is the way I'm looking at that. This is, I guess, fire or acid. He can spew out. Okay, so he's got a crazy weapon up here. And then these are claws. Anything that, like kind of a react claw. So if anything comes up and attacks him close, he can dangerous claw bites. And they would be a react. And I would say up to 3 around him. One per target though. And then this is a close range flame blaster. And because he's got a hover, I would say he likes to get in close. And he's kind of fireproof and probably thick armor because it's heat resistant, right? Gonzo bot. I should probably call him something sort of. And the it could be acid. It could be a mixture of like hot something. Obviously, there's a try tube mixture thing there. All right, let's do something crazy here. Prowess, yeah, because of the claws. So I'm going to say a 4. Aware, 2. Savvy, 0. He doesn't fix anything or do anything, so I'm gonna say -2. He just does what he's supposed to do, and that's it. I mean, his weakness is if you damage him, he'll won't be able to repair himself. Spirit, nothing, because he's not gonna. Intellect, 0. Nothing. He doesn't have intellect. Social, nothing. Okay. I'm not gonna roll anything for those. Okay. Not in the game. Defense is only a 12 because with robots I have a little rule that you can remember or not, that they don't use their awareness because they don't have that fear of pain or death, so they don't like react that way. So they're not gonna dodge or anything. Okay, so metals. For their armor type, save is going to be a D12 for starters. It's not going to be power armor, so I'm going to make it a D12 because it is definitely armored heavily. I think that'll be fun right there. And then its hull, the same as vigor. I'm just using a different name for the fun of it. Is going to be a 34. It's super tough. D12 armor. And again, not D12 plus D12, but D12. Pick the highest. I did not mean to smack my mic there. Okay, so it's got hose of death. Hose of acid. I'll just go with acid. Acid. Hose of acid. I mean, I could do all different kinds. Okay. +2 for awareness. I'm gonna get +1 die rank just because it's a program that way. And then what's the damage? I do like that D12. Yeah, we're going with it. D12. And then blast is D12. Close though, so it doesn't have range. I'm gonna, even though it's blast D12, it's more of a spray. Yeah. So let me just write that down. Spray, close. Just my own little notes on how kind of a blast it is. It's not like a torpedo blast with a big, D12 radius. It's more of a, because it's spraying up close. Okay. But also this is going to damage gear and stuff. So, acid gear. 5. So what that means, if you take 5 points of damage, then one of your pieces of gear is going to damage. One piece of gear takes -1 DR. Player's choice. So they can pick something dumb, whatever they want. Just one, why not? I think that's fine. Okay. They can be silly with me, but it's got to be one of their items on them. Okay. One item takes, one item, one exposed item. Okay, one exposed item takes player's choice. Okay. All right. That's it. I could do hose of fire, hose of stickiness. I'm just gonna keep it simple. React. 1 per side. Let me do claw react. Claw attack or react. Yeah, so either way. +4. Oops. +4 for the prowess. Was it going backwards? +4 and then 2 die ranks. Let's say it's really good at this, even though it's not its main thing. It's the hose of acid that's its main thing. But it's protect its cylinders or whatever. Oh, I wonder if I should give it like a... Nah, I was gonna say give it a shield, an energy shield that is very effective against being shot at. Nah, the D12, I think that's enough. I think this robot feels to me low-techy. You know, kind of post-apocalyptic because of the hovering thing, which I'm going to add here in just a sec. Or right now, really. Or after I do this. Okay. Claw attack, just your basic D12. D12. Well, plus D4. That's not a power claw attack. Well, yeah, it is. It kind of is. Plus D4. Okay. That's it. AP 2. Say AP 2. It doesn't. AP 1. Just AP 1. Armor piercing 1. Okay. 1 per side. Okay. And that's it for that. And then I was going to do the hovering. Okay. Hover. It looks pretty powerful. Hover jets. 1 super jump per encounter. So what that means is it can super jump and get to its, right up to you if it wants to. Oh, I'm gonna do smoke. Foul smoke. Prowess. Oh, what? Any trait they can come up with. Trait 14 DRR. So what does that mean? Uh-oh, what's that mean? Trait DRR. Okay. That means that they have to beat a 14. If they fail the 14 by whatever number, and they can use whatever trait they decide, they describe. I'm going to use my prowess because I'm trying to jump away, or my awareness because I'm trying to avoid it, or my spirit because I'm persevering, or my intellect because I know it's smoke and I quickly cover my mouth and, blah, blah. You know what? I don't care. They can use whatever they want. I don't know about social. Savvy is fine too, but it plumes out this smoke around it, right? When it, so if they fail by 14 or under, then the die rank result. What the heck does that mean? Die rank result. Okay, very, very simple. Whatever they fail by, let's say they roll and they 10, they fail by 4. Half of that is 2, minus 2 die ranks. They're now at minus 2 die ranks. And as a GM, duration is really up to you to decide. How long do you think that they're in this smoke? When do they get out of it? Do they get fresh air? That kind of a thing. So that's how you just decide the duration for that. But they're at minus 2 die ranks, whatever they failed by. Put it, and again, I as the GM take the minus 2 die ranks and then add it on my end. So they're coughing as they're trying to shoot this thing or hit this thing, or and acid's flying all over them. So that's it. Let me format this one. I forgot to format the other ones, but I like to format them with bold. And then their major attacks, I like to do in a bullet point like that and that. So there you go, GonzoBot. Acid theme. Acidic theme. Oh, then we put the 34, man. Oops. Maybe it should be 24. It's a tough bot. It's a tough bot. Yeah. That's its main strength. I could do like scanner detection on it. Yeah, let me do bioscanner plus minus 2 plus 2 die ranks, because his savvy is his bioscan. So he's got a pretty bad programming, but they gave him a bioscan added program, which is the 2 die ranks, and that's just for him to detect targets. Should it be bio or motion? Like if they stand still, you can see them. That's fine. That's it. That's good enough for me. I can use this. All right. I think that's enough for today. I did three. Yeah, I did a creature, a human, or space thug, and here, let me just pop these out again. I did GonzoBot, the acidic bot. I did Galaxian Encounters. I did Oh, there's a guy in here already. Cease. This is the one I just did. Okay, that one's empty. Okay. So let me delete this guy just for my own sake. I mean, I could do. Okay, so I did that, and Mutorat. Where's me Mutorat? Mutorat. There we go. Nice and simple. Stats. What they can do. Keep the story simple. Come up with some fun stuff. And allow the evangelism and church planting to begin. And you can have all the fun little crazy adventures. And we are not limited. Okay? We are not limited. I assure thee, we are not limited. In our Dark Ages, medieval sort of fantasy. And remember, fantasy is what we created from the pagan religions of elves and dwarves and goblins and evil spirits that they were in fear of. They're in fear of them. We Christians taught them and ourselves not to be in fear of the evil spirits and ghosts and stuff. We have the Holy Spirit in us, so we don't fear all these curses that they fear. So we created the fantasy out of their religion, their pagan religion. Which, remember, they lived in fear of these things. They gave offerings to these things, the dwarves and elves of the forest and stuff, the land spirits, the house spirits. We don't care. Let's make a fun story out of it. We Christians need to bring that back. We need to realize that that's what we did, and we own fantasy. They don't. They've co-opted it. They've glammed onto it, and now they've told us we can't be Christians anymore. So that's my point to you guys. All right, and then in the game of life, everybody, you got to start rolling holy dice. You got to, in the RPGs, in the culture, in the world, roll holy dice.